Morning all. Next topic we have to discuss is static method. Static method, where the method we are going to be write with the keyword static as prefix. See, it is going to be invoke the method without creating the object. Without creating the object. As already in the previous session we have discussed the example for that. It is going to be access that. Now see here. We'll see the example for static method. Again, I'll take the same employee of the organization. Employees I'm taking here. This is a normal class. This is a normal class. And where will be having three variables? Three variables. Two is instance variables I'm considering, and one is a static. One is a static variable. Let me take int employee ID. Int employee ID. String employee name. String company name. If I'm making it as static and the company name is Raju's, the company name is Raju's. See, now these two are instance variables. Instance variables. Instance variables. And this is a static variable. Now I'm writing one constructor here for accepting the employee number, that is employee ID and employee name. This is a constructor. This is a parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor where we are getting employee ID with ID value and employee name as name we are assigning here. Okay, whenever we are creating the object, it is going to be display. Now, again, I'm going to be write one display method, void display, for displaying the employee name, employee ID, employee name, and company name. See here, employee name. Sorry, first employee ID we have to display. MP ID. Employee name. Employee name, and we are going to display employee company name, employee company name. So as we have discussed this, and I'll be taking one main class. The main method. For the employee class, employees class, I'll be creating the object. Employees class, I'm creating the object. E1. Two arguments we want to pass, 101. Other one is ABC. The object E1 is created. Then E2 object we are creating. E2 object we are creating. ABC. Now, if I am calling these methods, the display method with the three objects, still here I didn't use a static method. I didn't use a static method till now. So, whatever will be the company name, we are having Raju's. Employee ID, employee name will be get changed, and only company name will be common. So that information it is going to be displayed for us. That information it is going to be displayed. Okay. Now, see, for first, when we are calling this display method, the display method first what we have, the SOP statement to print the employee ID, SOP statement to print the employee name, company name. So those three it is displaying. So if you observe here, while we are creating the object of E1 to this employee class, we have provided the employee ID as 1001, and the name is ABC, and the company name it is going to be considered here because we have given as a static variable. So that we are going to be get here when we are calling this. And when we are calling the display with the help of E2 object, while we are creating the E2 object, it is going to be called the constructor with 1002 XYZ. So here ID is going to be assigned as 1002 and here the name as XYZ. The same names only it is going to be displayed when we are calling this method. Now, when we have to write a static method, I'll write a static method here. Static. After static keyword, you should have a return type void. Let me consider this is a method 1. And this is a static method. Here, the static method is going to be given with static keyword. And I'll be giving this I'm assigning this value. See, now when we are executing directly, we are getting the previous data only. When we are executing this, we are getting the previous data. It means here Raju's only we have. We didn't call the static method. See, static method, we should call it, but no need of calling that static method with the help of object. Now, this display is the normal method. If we want to call this display method with the help of E1 object, we are going to be call that with the help of E1 object. E1 object which we have created for this particular employees class. So it is going to be called this particular method and it is going to be executed. If it is a static method, we no need to create the object and we need to call. See here, directly I'm writing the calling statement, method 1. Required method 1. with a class name, we'll call it. So here calling static method with class name, with class name. Okay. See, calling static method with class name. This is a class name. It is not the object. It is not the object. Static method is going to be called with the class name. Now we will see. See, before going to be create the object to the classes, before going to create the object to the classes, first I am calling this method one. What is having the method one? Method one is a static method where we have assigned some value to the variable called as company name, where we have assigned some value to the company name. So previously we have given Raju's and now we are giving Raju's e-learning. So it is going to be changed now. After calling this method only we are creating object. It means if we want to call the static method for execution, no need of creating the object. If we want to call the static method of a class, we no need to create the object of that particular class. Automatically by using the class name, it is going to be called for execution. Automatically it is going to be called for execution. See, we'll execute this. Yeah, the value is updated. So instead of Raju's, we are getting Raju's e-learning. So if we want to call the static method, if we want to call the static method, it is going to be get assigned like this. So we are going to be called the static method by using the class name. By using the class name, no need of creating the object. If I am creating like this, now what will happen? After printing the content, see, here we are creating the object to this particular class and we are calling the method over here. So then only we are calling this method one to execute. It means this change is not happened right now. While display method is executing here, it is this method is not called for execution. Because of that, the change is not happened here. The change is not happened here. After displaying the content, we are calling static method. So its content cannot be. It is not called for execution. It is not called for execution. Right? We'll see. Raju's only we are getting. Just I'll take this. If I'm removing this, now if we check, this is going to be called before the object is created. Before the object is created, the static method is going to be called for execution. Now, what will happen? The updated value, it is going to be displayed for us. The updated value is going to be displayed for us. I'll remove this. Okay, so the content is updated here. The content is updated here. So this is static method. Next concept will go collections. Most important topic in Java. Most important topic in Java. Collection. Most important topic in Java. Collections. Okay. See, first, what is meant by collection? A group. A group of units. A single unit where we'll be having objects. That is group of objects into a single unit. Group of object will be having in a single unit is called as collection. Then what is meant by framework, which is ready-made one. Framework is ready-made architecture, we can say, where we'll be having set of classes and interfaces. Where we'll be having set of classes and interfaces. This collection framework will be having storing and manipulating a group of objects with us. The collection framework will be having the set of classes and interfaces which will be available for us in the package called as java.util.sum package. In the Java package, util is a sub package where we'll be having classes and interfaces. In the previous sessions, we have discussed very clearly about this package and sub package. We didn't discuss still how we can able to create the user defined packages clearly. First, we have created some package and we have discussed like we'll be creating the package. How we can created the package just now. I have shown how we can able to create the package. For discussing the examples related to the collections, I have created the separate package with the collections. How I have created the package? So just I have given the right click to the project and I have chosen this new package. All will be the lowercase letters. All will be the lowercase letters. So that will be considered as package where we'll be having and as well as classes. If you see here, we'll be having all classes. And if you observe these are interfaces. How we are going to be access that and all we will discuss in the coming sessions. From the particular package, how we can able to access that we'll discuss in the coming sessions. Okay, now the package will be having the classes and interfaces. Classes and interfaces. Okay, now see here, there are some predefined classes and interfaces. There are some predefined classes and interfaces. That's what we are going to be discuss. First, collection interface. Collection interface. The collection interface, we are going to be implement all the classes in the collection framework. In that list interface we have. List interface is one of the child interface of collection interface. And this list interface is going to be used the data structure called as list. What is meant by data structure? What is meant by data structure? Is a place where we are going to be store the data, where we are going to be organize the data. Organizing the data in a sense, whenever we want to store the data, we are going to be store the data. If we want to remove the data, we can able to remove it, access it. That all we are going to be perform. See, list interface is a child interface of collection interface where it is going to be use the list data structure, list type data structure. What is meant by list in a sense? List will be holding different types of elements in it, different types of elements in it, different types of objects in it. And whenever we want to store the, also the list will be allowed. That is a speciality we have with the list data structure. List will hold the different types of data, and also it is going to be stored orderly. Whatever the order we are storing, it is going to be stored in the same order. It can have duplicate values. Okay, so we have different types of list interfaces here. The list interface is going to be implemented by the classes called as ArrayList, linked list, vector, stack. See, most of the time now we are using this ArrayList, linked list. Vector and stack will be used before the Java 5. Java version 5, vector and stack will be used. Even that also we will discuss. Major focus will be on the ArrayList and linked list. See, what is meant by ArrayList? ArrayList is going to be, ArrayList is a class. So if you see in the list interface, we have the classes. ArrayList is the class, linked list is the class, vector is the class, stack is the class. In the interfaces, we'll be having the classes. The collection will be having classes and interface. And now in the list interface, we'll be having ArrayList, linked list, vector, stack. Now if you see ArrayList, the ArrayList will be having the ArrayList will implement the list interface where it is going to be grow its size dynamically. Because of that, we can say this is a dynamic array, and we will store duplicate element of different types as we are using the list type data structure, and this array list is going to be maintain the insertion order, and it is not synchronized. And whatever the elements we have stored in the array list class, we can able to access it randomly. These are the major points we have to follow with the array list. See, we know what is meant by array. Array is collection of elements, collection of similar type of data, homogeneous type of data we are going to be stored. In the array, we are storing integer innocence, we are going to be store all integers only. If you are storing all floating point values in the array, we are going to be store floating point values. Char, like whatever may be the data type we are using for declaring the array, we are going to be store all that same type of data. And also dynamically it cannot able to grow its size. In a sense, it is not dynamic array. Compile time only we are giving some size. Let's suppose I have given the array size as 5. it is going to be store the elements only 5. It is going to be store the elements only 5. It has the capability to store the 5 elements of the same data type. And if we store the less number of elements, it is going to be get the remaining memory waste. And if I would like to store more number of elements in it, it is going to be get waste. Sorry, less number of elements we want to store than the size we have assigned, wastage of memory. More number of elements we have to store, it will it will not allow us to store more number of elements. See, first I'll take one class ArrayList. Here itself I'll be taking the public static void main. So dynamically it is going to grow its size. The main method only I'm going to be writing. If you see ArrayList, in the array A is a capital letter and the list L is a capital letter. Creating ArrayList of type string. AL is the object of this particular class. Now we are saying that ArrayList is a class. ArrayList is a class where we are going to be create the object. This ArrayList of type string. Still we are getting the error. When we are using this ArrayList, we need the class called as ArrayList. We have to import that from the respective package. So we have imported this. Under java.util. We have imported the ArrayList. If you are writing java.util.star also fine, it is going to be accepted. Now we have created the ArrayList. Created ArrayList. Now we have different methods of each and every object. al.object. See, al.this particular method add, which is used for adding a string. Add is a method used for adding a string. So I'm going to be add ONA1. I'm adding. Okay. Add method used for adding a string element. Used for adding a string element, which provided as argument. Okay. Now here I'll be taking as al.add and two have given. I've stored this string al.add al.add 5. Okay. So now I would like to print all the elements of see, list data structure will be used for storing the array. List data structure is going to be follow the insertion order. And non-synchronized way, and the list will be having the duplicate values. The list is going to be enclosed within the square brackets. the list is going to be enclosed within the square brackets. Okay, now here, if I would like to give again al dot add duplicates also will access w. Now, if you at last it is going to be stored. At last it is going to be stored. And if you see 45 is a numeral that I have represented in the double quotations, then it is considered as a string only. So even the string, it is going to be stored because we have provided here as a string. We have provided here as a string. Okay. Any doubt as of now? See, now if I want to know the size of the array list AL, size of array list AL. See, dynamically it is going to be grow its size AL dot size method we have. AL dot size method. Just if I'm giving, suppose AL dot is a array list object, it is going to be suggest all the methods to us. We should know which method we have to use based on our task. It is going to be provide the suggestion. That is what we have with the Eclipse, that what we can say as intelligence. Now, if you see here, the size of the array list AL is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elements it is going to be stored. 8 elements it is going to be stored. All the 8 elements size we are getting as 8. Dynamically it is growing its size. Because of that only we are going to be say that is dynamic array. Now I'll create one more array list and I'll give its name as AL2 or AL1. If I want to know the size of L1, first I'll be displaying it first. L1, what it is going to be display, and size of array list L1. L1 dot size. Just for giving the variation of these two. Okay. AL1 is the empty list created. AL1 is the empty list created. AL1 is the empty list created. Okay. So if you want to know the size of it, we need to get. We are getting 0. This is an empty list. It will displace. It will display empty list. No elements in the list. It will give size as 0. It will give size as 0. Okay. Then as per our task, it is displayed. Okay. Still, more methods we have to discuss under this array list that we will see in the next class. That we will see in the next class.